Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have Marian Edmondson joining us here today, our executive and life coach, a leadership consultant from Color Your Strengths. Welcome to the show today, Marian. How are you?
I'm doing well, Jill. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure having you. Excited to talk to you, to get to know you on a personal level. First and foremost, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Long Island, New York.
Beautiful. Where specifically?
I'm in Westbury.
Awesome. Good. Nassau County girl. I'm a Suffolk County girl.
Yes.
I love. So I want to hear all about you. And, I got to read a lot that you sent me, and we're going to share all this with your listeners, a little bit about your background. Before we do so, just give us a little overview as to what you're doing to help people with their confidence.
Yeah. So, it's interesting. No matter who I coach and talk to at any level in their career, at any point in their life, there's confidence always seems to be at the center of the challenges that people struggle with. And it's because oftentimes we're our worst critic, right?
Yeah.
We all have this inner voice that talks to us, and sometimes it's not so nice. And typically, that's developed and derived from just something protecting us that we developed over the years to keep us safe. But it's no longer serving us as we get older. And so working through some of those inner narratives and rewriting that narrative, right, forming a relationship with that part of ourselves and being able to understand where it's coming from so that we can address it, but also being honest with ourselves by focusing on what's true and real and not just in our heads can take us out of our heads and help us to develop confidence from a real organic and authentic place.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's get a little of your backstory. I want to find out, where you grew up. And I know you mentioned you didn't know what you wanted to do. So, and by the way, my parents the same. They didn't attend college, so no one told me I had to go to school. I kind of had to figure this out for myself. So I feel like we share a lot here. Can you explain to our listeners? Thank you.
Yes, happy to. So, I came from a background where my parents are very religious. Growing up, I was, raised in a very religious environment, and they didn't really focus much on schooling because they didn't go to college, right? They came right out of high school, met in high school, married each other, and had us, and were very devout to their faith. And so that was their primary focus. As they were raising my sister and I, it just never came up, the topic of college or even the concept of going or attending college. So, and I think it's no fault of theirs. I just think they didn't know if there would be a need for it. They didn't understand that the times would change and realize how much the times would change by the time we graduated high school. So when we did graduate, or were approaching the point of graduation, my sister was a year older than I. That's when they started to realize, oh, wow, we need to have a plan post-high school for our kids, and it's probably not going to be just going right into a job at this point. They're going to need to, develop a skill. And so I was really good at computers and took all the secretarial type of programs in school and was very good at it and natural at it. My mom was a secretary, and she encouraged me to go that route. I attended a secretarial school first and realized that just wasn't going to be enough for me. It didn't feel challenging enough. So then I started to pursue computer programming, and that felt a little too challenging or a little too complicated. I was interested in computers, but using them, not necessarily programming them, right? So when I was presented with the opportunity by my uncle, who had worked at a university in Michigan, to attend school there, I hopped on it. And that's how I ended up attending Eastern Michigan University. But I wasn't there for long before getting pregnant with my first child, and that forced me to come home. And so I had to rethink and change, my life plans at that point in time. And really in that moment, it was about providing for myself and my child, and had to get a job. And so my first job was in insurance. Then I got a job in finance. I was lucky to be able to get my Series 6 and 63. All these things were good enough to help me keep us afloat, but they really weren't my passion or my genuine interest, the type of work I really saw myself doing. So that's why, and not having a career path was really tough for me. I didn't know exactly what I could do and what I could be good at doing. I just knew what I was trained to do. And not long after I started working in finance, because I had some part-time jobs at the university with the continued learning department, they had reached out. I kept in touch with them, and they said, look, we're developing a scholarship program for the tri-state area to encourage students in that area of the country to come to Michigan and come to our school. And so we need someone in that area that can recruit for us. And so I was like, yeah, sign me up. Didn't know how much I would really enjoy that work until I was doing it. And what really spoke to me was just the opportunity to be able to help students to figure out what their interests were, something that I didn't have the opportunity to do, right? To help others to figure out what they might be good at, what they might be interested in, what might be aligned with their interests, and determine if the school was the right fit or not for them, and then help them to navigate, applying and getting into universities such as an Eastern Michigan University. And that just really fed my soul. I love that work. But 3 years in, they ended the program, and I was then on my own to look for the next job. And at that point in time, I was like, I don't just want a job. I want to continue to do something that really, feeds me, that really makes me feel like I'm tapping into my own purpose.
Yeah.
And so, started looking at jobs and found HR jobs, recruiting, and was lucky to get a break with Newsday back in the day, and they hired me on staff to be an internal in-house recruiter in HR, and that's where I began my career. I just was really hungry and curious about how to help people thrive in their work environment and in their careers and their lives, and so that started the journey for me.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. And wow, we're going to get into...
I know I gave you a lot.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, though. We're going to talk now, obviously, about, specifically some of the what you're doing with the coaching and the training, and you're offering on-site virtual leadership development workshops, retreats. So let's start with the basics, right? So obviously, Color Your Strengths. That's the best form of contact is your website as well, right?
Correct.
Perfect.
ColorYourStrengths.com.
Beautiful. And what area did you want to focus on first? I mean, because you're helping so many, and there's a lot of different services here.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll start by saying that, first of all, the reason why I named my company Color Your Strengths, right, is because it's really, I really wanted to something that spoke to individuality for people and what makes them unique, what makes us all unique, right? When I became a Gallup certified strengths coach, I then truly understand the collective value in really discovering what you do naturally and what your natural talents are. And for each of us, it's different, right? For some of us, it's having a color-coded closet. For some of us, it's being able to navigate traffic by having multiple different ways to get to my destination. And so I'm always going to be on time, right? It's whatever comes naturally to us and instinctually for us that is indicative of a talent, a natural talent. But when we leverage them intentionally, we turn them into strengths. And they can help us to achieve our goals and really achieve another level of success and excellence. And so for me, I wanted to have a company that name that really represented something that's natural for us and something that is organic and authentic. So, when I think about coloring something, it's the concept of making it your own, right, in that truly authentic way. So that's what Color Your Strengths really represents. It represents discovering what you do naturally, and then determining how to take those natural talents and turning them into strengths for you so that you can build confidence from within, from an authentic place, not by mirroring what you think confidence should look like or mirroring what you think leadership should look like, right? But showing up in a way that is truly organic for you so that you can be free to thrive in a natural way.
Amazing.
So that's the background of how I came up with my company and what it represents. But a lot of the work that I do, as I mentioned before, focuses on building confidence from within,
Yeah. Well, it's beautiful because confidence is something that gives us, you're the expert, tell us. For me, it feels like it gives me the strength to be a better person, to be a better provider, to be a better mom, tell me, what is confidence exactly? Could you just break that down for some people? Yeah, maybe they don't even know what it is, right? Go ahead.
That's unfortunate, but that's why I'm here. Because with confidence, you're able to truly overcome challenges, hardships, because you know innately that you are capable of overcoming something, that you know what your abilities are, right? So it's sort of tapping into, what do I do well? What do I know I can achieve? Because I've done it before, maybe, right? So a lot of the work that I do with people to help them build confidence involves self-reflection. Once we discover what your natural talents and strengths are, then we're talking about, well, how have they been serving you all along? Where's the proof, right? Let's talk about the evidence of success that you have already had in your life. And when you think about how your natural talents and strengths have contributed to that, then you start to say, well, wow, if I was able to do that because I'm naturally gifted and talented at this, then what else can I do? And how else might this be able to help support me in achieving other goals and navigating other challenges that I may have? I don't have to bang my head up against the wall working hard at the thing that isn't easy for me or that isn't natural for me. I can actually think about what does come naturally for me, and that might help me to navigate the challenge that lies ahead.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. And you mentioned the Clifton's strength training, right?
Yes.
And could you just share just a little bit about that specifically? And then I know we can talk about the individual coaching that you're doing. And do you also do group coaching, or is it still one-on-one at this point?
Yeah, so I do both. I definitely do both. The Clifton Strengths, I do group coaching and teams coaching, and they are different, and I'll explain, as well as the one-on-one, clearly the one-on-one coaching. But the Clifton Strengths, let's start there. The Clifton Strengths training workshops and retreats that I do really are working with teams. Usually it can be as small as 8-person team. I've done sessions as large as 100 people at a time. But the more intimate ones are the ones where I'm working with a team that works together every day, right? People that know each other, have different roles, and rely on each other to achieve a goal. And as part of that work, we explore I give them an assessment. They take the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which, for the record, was formerly called StrengthsFinder. And so you may be familiar with the term StrengthsFinder more so than Clifton Strengths. But when Gallup took over the StrengthsFinder and really grew the concept out, they wanted to honor the owner and the founder of Clifton Strengths, Don Clifton. And so that's why they use Clifton in the name. But the Clifton Strengths Clifton Strengths Assessment is the StrengthsFinder assessment.
Okay.
It's the same assessment. And so that I have them take the assessment, and after taking the assessment, we debrief and we talk about what they discovered about themselves. And I help them to start to align what they've done in the past, how they get things done on a daily basis, what energizes them, what are the things that they feel really motivated around and really enjoy doing. I get them to align that with their top 5 strengths so that they can start to see how their strengths are in action every day without even thinking about it right now, right? That's the beginning. And then after that, we start to explore how they can leverage intentionally their strengths to help them succeed in the workplace, whether it be in the way that they lead teams, or the way that they communicate with their colleagues or their managers even, or how they influence others, how they collaborate together on projects, and how they make the most of each other's strengths so that they can collectively be more successful as a team.
Got it.
And so that's what a lot of the strengths assessment, the strengths training and retreats, the workshops that I do consist of a lot of that type of work. And the individual work is really centered around what one person is looking to accomplish, what's in their way, maybe unblocking some hidden potential that they just feel they can't tap into on their own. Sometimes people are looking for career clarity. They may want to make a pivot in their career and do something different, and they're feeling insecure about it. And so, just, talking about their strengths can really help them sort of see through clearly to how they can navigate that transition with a little bit more confidence. Right?
Beautifully said. Well, we got to take a quick break here. Would you mind sharing all forms of contact, the website, phone number, any social media pages you want to share? And then we'll take our quick break. Thank you so much.
Happy to. You can contact me at Marian at coloryourstrengths.com, and Marian is spelled Marian. You can visit my website at coloryourstrengths.com to see what else I can offer to you. And you can feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well at Marian Edmondson.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, everyone, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
If you are the new parent of a baby out of wedlock, you're probably freaking the heck out. We remember how stressful it was when we had unexpected children with people we did not want to marry. After spending tens of thousands on legal battles that dragged on for years, eventually we learned the hard way what works and what doesn't in the real world. I'm Jim Braz, co-author of the award-winning book, Baby Out of Wedlock. We help unmarried mothers and fathers get their questions answered, improve co-parenting relationships, and avoid nasty legal battles that cost a fortune. Go to babyoutofwedlock.com to learn more.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945. 800-386-9945.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage and Rocket Companies. Last year, we saw historically low mortgage interest rates. What you may not know is that interest rates are already starting to increase, and it's likely that trend is only going to continue. Our team of experts is standing by to help you save before rates go up. Don't look back and wish that you had taken action. Call 833-8-ROCKET or visit rocketmortgage.com. Rocket.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. It's all about color your strengths, and we are so excited to have our guest here joining us today, Marian Edmondson. She's an executive and life coach, leadership consultant. Again, color your strengths, and we're talking today about all those services that she provides to really help you, and whatever leadership role it is, to expand upon your responsibilities, whether it's career-wise, whether it's being a working mom, building confidence in general. Also, contemplating life changes is a big thing. I heard you were helping a lot of people with like retiring and the transition of the. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, when people step into a different phase in their life, it's a really tough time. For so long, specifically with retirement, right? Because whether it be forced or a personal decision to retire, it's still a big life change. You once were someone who could say, "Oh, I do this for a living," right? And most of us really do align a great deal of our identity with what we do for work. And so just making that transition alone to now saying, okay, who am I without the work that I do? What is it that I want for this next phase in my life? And what can I do? And for some people, it's, I still want to work, but I want to do something different than what I was doing in my day job. Or I have a passion project that I now want to build a business around, right? We may explore together what that could look like and how to get there, how to just figure out exactly what it is that they are passionate about, but also how to bring the talents and the skills from their lifelong career into the next phase of their life, even in a very different way, so that you're not giving up that part of yourself. That part of yourself is still you. It's still who you are and what you're capable of doing and bringing to another experience. You're just not doing a certain type of job or the person holding a certain title any longer. And that can be challenging for folks, but we work together to kind of, redefine that self-image. And I like to call it rewriting the narrative because, often we have a story that we tell about who we are and how we got to be that person. And when our job changes or when we're no longer doing the work that we once were known for, that can become very clouded for many people. And so I like to say I help to clear the smoke and the cloud, but also to quiet the noise in our heads, right, so that a new story can emerge.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing all this. And just, people ask, what is the process? How long do I need? How does this work? Could you kind of break it down for us? I'm sure it's different, customizable to everyone, but in general, how does it work to work with a coach?
Yeah, so, I'll say this. First and foremost, if you've never worked with a coach before, it can be a very therapeutic experience, and a lot of people compare it to therapy, although it is not therapy, right? It is very goal-oriented. So in our first session, what we often will do is talk about, what is it that you're looking to accomplish through coaching? What would be the ideal vision for the outcome that you would have knowing that this experience in coaching with me was successful. So once we know what success looks like, then we start to back into that. We say, okay, so if that's what success looks like, and that's what your vision for the future is, talk to me about what your reality is today, right? What is it that is the experience that you're having today that is not in line with that vision? And then we assess the gap. Okay, so what's in the middle? What's needed in order to get there? And we may, incorporate your strengths to help you determine how you can get there, how you can accomplish that goal actively, putting some of your strengths into action to help you work towards and make progress towards your goals. A lot of the work in coaching that happens, it happens outside of the coaching sessions. We talk in coaching and may have a few aha moments, and you may come up with things that you want to try and put into practice, but the work is in the practice. The work is in what you do once you leave our call and our session. I do 60-minute sessions. Sometimes I do 90-minute sessions, depending on the challenge that we're dealing with. And typically, it's anywhere from 6 to 12 sessions that I will do with someone.
Okay.
Yes, I do strength coaching sessions as well, meaning they're specific to just understanding your strengths results, and that may be 1 to 3 sessions and no more than that. But if you want to work towards achieving something or accomplishing a goal or working through a challenge that you're having, I recommend a minimum of 6 sessions.
All right, good to know. Thank you so much. Well, we are almost out of time, and I mean, there's still so much more to talk about. I hope we have more shows together.
I know. Yes, I believe we do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, before we go, how did you kind of want to end off for today, to your listeners? And, maybe, any quotes here, anything you want to leave off for people?
Yeah, I like to tell people all the time, it's what I look to do in the folks that I work with is to get them to build confidence without having to compromise their authenticity, right? And that means finding what you're good at, find out what is your unique strength and talent, leaning into that so that you can be your best self, right? And just remember that comparison is the thief of joy. So it doesn't help to compare yourself to others. Instead, start looking inward and find exactly what you're looking for right here within yourself.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Pleasure getting to know you, and
Joe.
Exciting. Remind us one more time how we can contact you directly, and do you offer like an initial consultation if someone wants to reach out?
Yes, absolutely. A free consultation is always available if anyone wants to explore what working with me might look like and how it might benefit you. I do 30-minute free consultations, which you can schedule right on my website at coloryourstrengths.com.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. Have a fantastic day, and looking forward to the next time we speak. Get the umbrella ready. My dad called before, said the rain's coming to Long Island, so we'll have to deal with it. It's all right. We can handle it. You have a fantastic day, sweetheart.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
You too. Take care.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her.
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge.
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend.
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.